And I kind of got a wild take on healing because we were talking last time about how all the one shots type of damage is kind of gone, and now everything is pulsing damage, etc. But
Hmm.
playing my ballet, I was hoping that there's like one shot. So if people cannot survive it, they die and we're done. And I'll
Hmm.
address like, for example, the first boss in Arakara or the pulsing boss in Dawnbreaker, right? When you go into high keys and people are under geared and they don't use their defensives, they basically just rot down. They die no matter, like, I'm popping my cooldowns, I'm prepared, I have something to heal, and they still die, right? And it's maybe because they're under geared, maybe because I'm not geared enough, so I could heal for more. But I kind of more enjoyed bosses like the third boss in Siege of Borealis, where the breakwater hits you for all the damage that it does, and if you survive it, you survive it. If you die, you die, but that's it, you know. So it's a different the dynamic. It's a different take from what I had from the previous week, but that was kind of a revelation that I had because I did like this 14 Siege of Borealis, and we were talking on comms with our healer because he was a friend of mine. He was like, pop this, and if you survive, you survive. Like, he doesn't even have to heal you after that. You know, the maintenance, healing, etc. That's gonna top you off.
Yeah.
And that felt chill. Although people do panic on this boss and like it hits and they pop health pots, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why? But that doesn't matter, right? So I was, and then there was those rot bosses that would just kill your whole party, and then everybody would blame the healer, and I would be
Oh
like,
yeah.
bro, I pop my divine toe, and then I spammed the empowered holy shocks at you, and you still died. You know, what am I supposed to do? And you know, this kind of makes every healer now feel like a disciplined priest to me. And that's a wild take again, but the way the disciplined priest works, and you know this the best, but if there is a big AoE that's coming, you have to spread your atonements, which usually just casting radiance. Then you have to do a mind blast to turn your smite into void blast, which does more damage and heals for more. And then you have to pop your mind bender to do even more damage and more healing. And if you set this
Yeah.
up correctly, just as the damage is coming, you just press your penance and your void blast, and you can heal to everything. Right? It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
people are pressing defenses or not. You're godlike. But
Yep.
if you are late, if the damage happens and you're those 3 buttons behind, you're not catching up. Everybody's gonna be
Nope.
dead by the
Too
time
late.
the
Yep.
pulsing stops. Right?
Yep.
So from that perspective, basically every healer now feels like a disciplined priest because those huge damage checks, those huge pulsing damages that happen in the dungeons, even if you're not playing disc, you need to know, okay, this is exactly what I'm going to do now. No matter what healer I'm pressing, this is the cooldowns that I'm going to be using. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to heal through it. And if you don't do that and the damage happens, even if you are a reactive healer, usually there's no catching up, right? So I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic. I don't think the solution here is bring back the one shots, but I just had a very unpleasant experiences in the last week trying to heal through burst damage on different healers, and even if I had everything prepared, people would still die.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what to say here, but that was just an interesting revelation that happened to me. Um,
It's always fun when you change classes and kind of like, every single class has their specialty for certain damage types and being able to work through it. And it's always interesting. That's why I feel like discipline's it's hard and easy in the sense where you have to understand the timers, like you just said. But if you do understand the timers and the rotation, you're good to go. So
yeah.
it's pretty easy from there. So,
But yeah,
but yeah, every single one has different.
even as disc, and that actually stands true for all those healers, even if you plant everything correctly, if you miss one glob or if you like misclick one of
Yep.
your buttons, you're done.
Yep.
Everybody
Yeah.
wipes. Uh,
Even,
it,
it's funny. I didn't want to nitpick, but because I'm disc and you're not disc, but when you actually mind blast after the pet, I don't know if you know that, because you get this thing called torment, which
Mhm.
does a pretty good amount of healing and damage. And so the rotation is just a little bit different. But I know when I don't do my rotation right, it does make a big difference. Those torments help a lot, not only in damage but in healing. It's massive.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's very unforgiving to your point. Like if you don't do it right, like you say, it can cause a wipe.
Yeah, I do not play that high keys on this, so I guess it's fine if I cast my mind blast, even if it's wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah. If
still
you're doing
survive.
eights, yeah,
But like,
nines,
if
you're
if
probably
I if I
fine.
don't cast it, or if I'm late, that's what I'm trying to get to, because that's true for
Massive.
every
Yep,
healer. Like, if you
yep,
misclick one of your buttons in heavy AoE, especially in higher keys, it's done.
yep. It's
Everybody
over.
dies.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So this feels a little bit too punishing. Even yesterday we did a green bateau, and the tank jumped into a big pack. He got deleted, like one shotted, insta. And he was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't press my defensive." And obviously we all wiped, and because it's a high key, I mean higher than 7, that's like 1 minute or something on the timer.
Yep.
So it feels like those, and it's one mistake, right? It's a one small mistake that he made, wiped us, basically cost us the timer and the key potentially. So it feels a little bit too punishing. And those are even not that high keys, it's just like 10s, 11, 12s. It's not like we're pushing 15, 16s or world first keys and like 19s. So I
Yep.
don't know. That adds to the book unfriendliness a little bit. And I'm not sure what they can do to make it a little bit easier, but that is another topic that, it's pushing people away, and it's not gonna make them come back.